So in this presentation, I am going to demo you one complete case as to how to file your PR or citizenship application using the new portal of ICA, which is introduced in 2024. So as you know, new portal of ICA was introduced in June 2024 and it brought some significant changes to the application process and the steps involved. For example, previously there was Form 4A which was used for permanent residency application, and that form is no more used. Now you have to enter all the details directly into the ICA portal, which requires obviously manual data entry, and the extent of details asked is quite significant. So some of the people have problems and they have some questions how to go about it. And that's the precise reason why we have decided to create this video. Another important point to note is now there is a standardized portal for PR, citizenship or LTVP applications. What that means is no matter which application you are filing, you will be entering the same data set and you will be entering into the same portal in a similar manner. So the agenda of this presentation is as follows. I will be showing you a complete demo of a situation where a citizen is applying permanent residency for spouse and child. So in this case, the citizen applicant is a sponsor and PR is being applied for the spouse and the child. I will show you the form sections and details entered for the spouse and also for the child applicant. I will enter the complete form details and then later and go through section by section. So the data that I am using is a realistic data, but obviously the case is being created or entered for demo purpose only. So I won't be filing anything. I will be discarding everything at the end. And lastly, one of the important point is I will also touch upon the document attachment section where few interesting points are there. So let's start. Okay, so as you can see, I am on the ICA portal. I will click on my ICA and system will ask me to log in using my ThinkPass. So let me scan this. Okay, so I am now logged. So I am now logged into the ICA portal, and to start the process of applying for PR or citizenship, I need to scroll down and come to this section, Singapore citizen, permanent resident, long-term visit pass holders. I click on this and then take the first option, apply for citizenship, PR or LTVP. When I click on this, system is going to direct me to the ICA new portal, and there it asks me what I want to do. So I'm going to select my family. It will ask me what is my marital status. So I'll put it married and I will proceed ahead. Now the system has inbuilt intelligence to identify my specific situation and offer me what types of applications I can lodge in. For example, in this case, it is saying that I am a Singapore citizen and accordingly the options will change. Since I am applying this for spouse and a child, let me add the family member here. So I will first add spouse. And let's presume the current immigration status is a non-pass holder. And let me add the child also. It will ask me few more details. Again, let's say non-pass holder. Date of birth I will call 0101, maybe 2015. Child's marital status is single. And the child is born in a legal context of a marriage. So I'll click yes and proceed. So now this is the application that I'm going to file, where actually I am not applying for any visa or PR or citizenship. I am applying for spouse and child. So when I click on proceed, I get various options. For example, in the same application, I can apply for permanent residency and long-term visit pass for my spouse. And for child, I can apply for citizenship directly, permanent residency and long-term visit pass. So I have selected all the options and we will click on proceed ahead. So it says time required is approximately 90 minutes. Now this is actually not true. You will take a long time because the details are quite extensive. So you can complete the first stage, that is entering of the details, in 7 days. And the next stage, that is attaching the document, declaring and making payment, you get another 7 days. The portal also provides you to prepare the documents, so you can go through and prepare these documents for the submission. For the time being, I will say start the application. So now the first stage starts, where I have to enter the details for each person and complete the form. You see here it is 0%, 0%, 0%. So I have to fill all the required details and make it 100%. And in the next stage, I have to attach the documents. So what I am going to do now, I am not going to enter everything. I am going to take a break, and in that I will get all the details filled up, and then we will come back and continue with the presentation. Okay, so let's start. So now I am back to the ICA portal, and as you can see, the details of sponsor, spouse and child all are 100% completed. So now I will go through and I will show you the sample form filled up, so you will get a clear idea. Okay, so here I have opened the spouse form, and as you can see here, it goes through different sections, starting with biodata, family, background, employment, qualification, residency and other points. It also shows, as you scroll down, it will also show you the percentage completion, and only after 100% data has been entered, you will be able to really submit it and move to the next stage. And this 100% completion is required for all the people involved in the application, that is sponsor, applicants and children if any. So I'll generally go through these sections and I will explain if anything relevant is there. So this is the biodata section, as you can see, as highlighted over here. So you can add ethnic name if it is applicable, which can be in Tamil, Chinese or in Malay. So the details like current visa status in Singapore, previous immigration status, nationality, citizenship, all will be captured under this section. Foreign identity card number normally refers to the identity card issued in your home country. So if you are a Malaysian, it will be Malaysia My Card. If you are an Indian, it will be Aadhaar card. And similarly, depends upon your country. If there is a practice of giving this kind of identity card numbers, you can enter it over here. You can then enter your race and dialect, your religion, and then you will need to specify address details. Normally, if you are residing with main applicant or the sponsor, you will just indicate that you are residing with the sponsor, and you don't have to enter any details. But your country or place of origin address will still need to be mentioned. The next part that comes is the travel document details, which is actually part of biodata only. So travel document normally in majority of the cases means international passport. But there can be some other types of travel documents like certificate of identity. But because it is international passport is the most common, we will check it over here the same. So you will need to mention the details of your current passport, which is valid right now, and which will be used as an identity document for you if you are given PR or citizenship. You are also required to add details of your previous travel document, that is the previous expired passport. So this is kind of a change from the previous portal where for PR only current passport was required, but now they ask previous passport record as well. Maybe it is used for background check, so you want to give these details over here. So in this case, I have 3 previous passports. The next comes the contact details section. So you will be required to provide email address and telephone number, or you can indicate that you use the same contact details as the main applicant or the sponsor. Now comes the next section, which is about family. Now in family, since this is a spouse record, obviously sponsor and child details will be required, but those you don't have to enter it here because those are people who are already in this application identified as sponsor, spouse, and child. But if there are any other people in the family, and parent and sibling information is what is required to be entered over here. So parental information is compulsory, father and mother details. Of course, if you have a situation where you don't have information of your parents, then in that case you can indicate that I don't have this information, and then system will ask you the reason. But otherwise you will be required to provide this information. So again, all these details are provided: the name, current whereabouts, what is the relationship to the spouse. So just to clarify, this is the spouse's father and mother details what I am referring to. Date of birth, current immigration status in Singapore, religion, foreign identity card number, travel document number, that is the passport number, whether the parent, father is currently employed or not, what is the highest educational qualification the father has, and if there is any membership in professional societies. And the same thing will repeat for mother also. Okay, just to clarify, I have written it mother-in-law because it is the sponsor's mother-in-law, but spouse's mother. And then sibling information also you will need to enter. So in this case there is one sibling, so I am entering those details. Now keep it in mind, siblings information is not marked as mandatory. When you go and start this portal, first time when you are entering father, mother and sibling information, father and mother is compulsory. Sibling information is not compulsory. That does not mean that you can skip that information. That information is not mandatory because some people can be without any sibling. They might be the only child of their parent. But if you have sibling, it is expected that you will provide this information. So again, nationality, race, religion, foreign identity card number, international passport, all this information, current employment will be required. So if your sibling has current employment, please provide the details. And those details are quite extensive. Some people, I guess, may find it difficult to ask how much salary their sibling is earning. That can be a bit difficult. Now, in addition to that, if there are any children, either of the sponsor or of the spouse, who are not part of this application, maybe some child is not applying, or maybe some child is from the previous marriage, then those details you will have to enter in this section. Child, if any, including biological, step or adoptive childs. The next section comes is of a marriage details. So marriage details you will have to mention here, and those will be automatically, in main sponsor section, and those are automatically reflected here. But if this person has previous marriages, then if you click yes, it will open up another window and it will ask the details of previous marriage and what was the status. For example, the previous marriage might have ended in a divorce or maybe death of a spouse. Now next comes the employment section. So if this person is currently employed, you are required to provide the details, quite extensive details. For example, name of the company, company UEN, sector in which company operates, company staff strength and paid up capital, occupation, designation, responsibility, salary, employment start date and employment address. Then you have opportunity to enter your previous employments. So here I am giving around 4 or 5 previous employment records. So this previous employment was with DBS Bank, UN number is given, the period and industry sector and all this information is provided here. So even prior to that also this person had a job in DBS Bank but in Hong Kong branch. So obviously in that case you won't need to provide the company UN number. And then prior to that this person was having a job in the same sector in financial services and investment in India. So that information is also provided. Now the next section is about details and achievements and innovation. So some additional information is provided here. Normally 4000 character space is available. So we generally recommend at least to provide some information in this section. The next section then comes is about the qualifications and education. So the first part is about education, which normally refers to the academic education. So this person in this case has done a master's degree from India, which is the highest qualification, and also bachelor's degree from India. So these qualifications along with their dates and the institution are listed over here. The next section, which is a part of education itself, is a professional and technical qualification. So if you have any professional or technical qualification, you can add it over here. So what professional and technical qualification means are normally the short courses or on the job training that you might do. But of course you want to be bit selective. You don't want to flood this with 10-20 technical qualifications. Generally try to select a better one and a relevant one. For example, in IT sector, some people do AWS courses nowadays, or maybe you have done some IT training somewhere, or maybe in financial field you do this capital market licensing examination. So all that can be added over here. And then if this person is a member in any professional society, association, club, that can be added over here. I will just show it for a short. So I will just show it over here. You can mention the name of the society, position, country, and start date and end date. Now the next question is about overseas residency. So the question here is, have you in last 6 years stayed out of Singapore for more than 6 months? So in this case, this is the situation. So Hong Kong and India are mentioned because this person was in India first and then in Hong Kong. So these details we have mentioned over here. And then the next section is about any declarations, in the sense, have you been prohibited from entering in Singapore? Are there any criminal offenses on you in Singapore or any other country? So these declarations you will have to finish. So this way the spouse record has been completed. I will now quickly show you the child record also. Children typically tend to have very straightforward record because their family details are normally not required, and they don't tend to have any employment record also. So first is the personal details of this child. It specifically asks relationship to the sponsor and relationship to the current spouse of the sponsor. And then usual details, religion, national identity card number, etc. is required. Similar to spouse record, it is also asking address details. Then the travel document details section starts, where we have to mention the current travel document, current passport, and previous passports if any. Again, contact details, which can be same as the main sponsor. Employment section is there, but children, since they don't have any employment, you can just put no and proceed ahead. And then the education, which typically tends to be some school, high school leaving or something like that, which you can mention over here. So as you see, children record tend to be quite straightforward. So now all the three sections are 100%. So we will move on to the next stage, and I will show you document attachment section briefly. So let's click on proceed, and I will just go to the spouse section for document attachment. So here first document that you need to attach is a passport size photograph. So once you click on up, it will open the Windows File Manager and you can select the photograph. Then you will be required to attach travel document, last page of travel document, birth certificate, and so on. Then it asks for letter of employment confirmation, pay slips, and educational documents, master's degree and bachelor's degree, and also the skill certificate regarding insurance intermediary exam which we have reported. So the documents that ICAI will ask will largely depend upon what information you have provided in the application form. I am not going to attach any documents here because it's a demo case only. But what is important to understand, now you have an option to enter or attach supplementary documents as well. So if you select here, so there are different types of documents, but what you might want to consider is the financial related documents. If you have anything specific, you can highlight. Similarly, testimonials you can attach, and any other document that you may want ICAI to consider, you can attach it over here. So this finishes the overview. Now there are few points which I will like to highlight to you. So the first point is, as you can see, there are extensive details. Those are required in this application. Now when you saw, you may not have got any question. But when you will start doing it for yourself, you will get a lot of questions on each of the sections and doubts may arise. So at that point of time, you may want to consider engaging a professional help, because we guys do it every day and we know many different situations and we also know the solutions for the same. The second thing that I want to highlight, it is always better to compile all these details beforehand in either Word or Excel form, so that when you are entering everything, you can do it quickly and easily. So when client engages, we normally give them a Word form like this. So let me show it to you. So this is a kind of form that we use, which actually mimics the ICAI portal required information. So basically this can come quite handy because you can review this information, collect everything in this form, review it, and also ensure that proper quality is maintained. The next point is, the case that I showed you was a simple case where a sponsor was applying for spouse and a child. But complicated cases can arise, and if your situation is of that type, then you need to be more careful. In the sense, there can be previous marriages, children from previous marriages, and so on. The last but not the least important point is that you need to be aware that you cannot make a false statement under Immigration Act. And what that means is that you are declaring that you are providing a complete, accurate, and true information to the best of your knowledge and belief. So sometimes people just skip some information. For example, they may not provide the details of their sibling, or maybe they are not providing some important information which is relevant for their application. So you do not want to do those kind of mistakes. It is always better to provide all the information that ICAI has asked. So I hope this video has been of help to you and you have got a clear idea as to how to enter your application in ICAI system and then submit it.